Welcome at this masterclass about the fusion of Lean with Industry 4.0. I would ask everybody, also Andreas, perhaps you can mute your video and microphone. Yes. Okay, I welcome everybody for this this masterclass. It's a masterclass organized by the Han Lean QRM Center. It's in the area of Lean 4.0, and Lean 4.0 is also a European project in which Norwegian, German, Belgium, and Dutch universities participate, and also a couple of companies. The project is about the development of the operations manager of the future. What is needed for the operations manager? We are happy to have this masterclass about the fusion of Lean with Industry 4.0. I'm happy that an operations manager is willing to give his view about this, and it will be Mr. Saurabh Gupta. He's business head at an automotive component manufacturing company in India. Has a lot of experience also in the Netherlands with Lean and Lean Six Sigma. I think it's interesting. The purpose of this meeting is especially to challenge people to discuss and to have a discussion about what Industry 4.0 means for Lean and what Lean means for Industry 4.0. If you have questions, please raise your hand. I will be the moderator of this session. So if I see a hand and if I see a nice moment to give somebody the floor, I will give somebody the floor. Please mute your video and your microphone. So I see that Adriaan does have difficulties. It works well. So we now see we see you, Saurabh. I'm happy that you're with us and that you're willing to give us the masterclass.
Thanks.
Perhaps you can introduce yourself a little bit more. I would like to give you the floor.
Thanks, Professor Slom. So first of all, to sincerely thank you. Probably, can you see me or not? Is it there?
No, we cannot see you yet.
Okay, just give me a minute. I turn my video on so that it could be more interactive. Just a minute.
Yes. Saurabh, your microphone is off.
Yeah. So yeah. Is it better? Yeah, perfect. Good evening, Professor Slom, and good evening all the participants. And first of all, I would like to thank you that you have given me an opportunity to share my views on Lean, and this is indeed a good one. Because my experience with Lean and graduating to Industry 4.0 has been very, I've learned a lot with different assignments while being in Philips. I was certified as Lean and Six Sigma Black Belt, wherein I could learn about that, deploying Lean, leading Lean.
I'm sorry, can you be a little bit closer to the microphone? We cannot hear you that well. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Is it better now?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. So this has been a kind of a learning experience with Philips while being certified as Lean Six Sigma Black Belt and in Netherlands. And then in India, there has been a lean deployment at the site. Now, as things are graduating towards Industry 4.0, this I really experienced the good moments while deploying Lean and then Industry 4.0. And this is a good one that I could share some of my thoughts, my views, my experiences with all of you. And really, indeed, looking forward to learn more. Quite excited. Thanks, Professor Slom. Thanks.
You want to share your screen?
All right. Is it there?
Yes, it is. We can see your screen. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. As the point for today's discussion is about fusion of. So just to be honest with you and just to share with you that this would be all my experiences, what I have learned over a period of time that I will be sharing with you. And this session may be more of interactive session, mutual learning session. I would also love to learn from all of you so that we could have a mutual learning session. So fusion of Lean to Industry 4.0 makes out to be Lean 4.0. Agenda, as I said, that I have not made any specific agenda. This is all about mutual learning because it's all about you all have experienced, having a good professional and technical experience, knowledge about it. So this would be good to interact and mutually learn. The start of the content, I would like to give a trigger to thoughts to all of you that what normally we think before starting of anything, either it's a personal life or a professional life. And at least to my experience, what I have realized that it's about 5W1H. And over a period of time, I have been in so sync with it that whenever any new project or whenever any new venture is going to start, I always try to think on those lines. 5W1H, as all of you must be aware about it, must be well versed about it. It's what, who, where, when, how, why. So either it's a Lean or Industry 4.0 or anything for that matter, if I speak about in reference to today's session, or maybe the personal aspect, a personal venture, I have always been benefited by this. So I would just like to take you through the Lean experiences that we have experienced while driving the Lean, the benefits, and then how we have transited to a bit of Industry 4.0. Well, this experience is quite enriching, but I must say that the journey is quite continuous and quite long. So we cannot say at what stage we are. We are at very preliminary stage of doing this all, and since this keeps on moving and improving, so we will. So now this is the same 5W1H for Lean, that what, why, who, where, when, how. Lean, I'm sure that since all you are, almost all of you are industry experts in your respective fields and experience in practical, we all know, and this theory is all available in different websites and different contents, that it's about the journey of continuous improvement with perfection. So just to catch the words, that what it talks about is, this is, so this is about a continuous improvement with perfection unattainable. So this is the buzzword that I would like to take it back home. What is lean? What do we think that means? We say that difference between lean and weak. So what I have realized that weak is a kind of when you don't have any strength. Lean is also slim, but in that case, you have a good muscular power, and then you are not weak. Weak is like uh, you have removed the fats that is required or not required. But lean is like you have eliminated the non-value added, or I must say the waste from the body. If I talk about a body maintenance cycle, so it's all about waste. That's what we do. And lean thinking. So before going for the lean, I also used to think it's a big word and big journey, lot of complications. But I see over a period of time that it's quite a simple and a very basic thing. Basic thing in the sense that it talks about not using a very high tools or methodologies, but it talks about a common sense. It's a simple solutions for a complicated problems that I have experienced. And while working with Philips, I just to share that there used to be a program that used to be run was Simply Philips. That used to be about a simple thinking. So you bring the issues, the complicated issues of operations, manufacturing, and business by simple thinking. So I mean to say that this all is all about common sense, simplified thinking, and simple way of taking the things further. Another important point that I will be sharing with you while working on this Lean Industry 4.0, I experienced that Lean is not about the process only, not confined to business only, or maybe not about the metrics. It's about the people also. It's about the thinking of the people also. So that I will be sharing on the next slides, that how I corroborate that and how do I say this or how I reach to that conclusion, or that my thinking I will be sharing with you. So as we spoke about the waste in the previous slide, this slide of course is about gate waste. We talk about downtime, timbers. There are different acronyms for to easily remember the kind of waste we have. So this is there. All of you are well updated about it. I'm not taking much of the time. So this is all about a waste. Now the next is about why do we need it. So till the time we were talking about what is lean and what is waste, and why do we need it at all? Why do we need to lean? So there's a big question mark. So voice of customer is what is voice of customer? Voice of customer, if you look at it, so this talks about, I have just given an example of automobile, the car manufacturer as an OEM, but this is applicable to all across any customer. So if you look at it, they look for a good ratio or the proportion of the buy, customer will lie, and that finally translates to zero defect, safety, and then cost. These are, as a voice of customer, they want this, that the product could be with a zero quality issue, whether it could best in the competitive and regularly improving or reducing cost, I must say. These are their expectations. One is voice of customer, another is voice of business. So just to refresh that what all we have seen, studied, and practiced over a period of time. So I just try to recapture that and just to make all of us refreshed about the concept. So voice of business, they talk about that the market should be better, or this we share better market share. The profit should be increased on a regular basis, so that's quite common, and there should be continuous sales growth. So these are all about the primary thing that with which we make our annual operating plan, or for that instance 5 years or 3 years plan. But what it translates to, these are the leading or the lagging parameters, and then what is being contributed by this. So this is about maximum output with minimum input. So I'm sure that all of you will agree that without this cannot be achieved. Similarly, a good delivery, so that the customer is alive, focus on quality and the engagement of the people and the team up there. So if we see primary and secondary metrics of any business as a voice of business, so this is translated to this. Aspects. Front line is about market shares, between the sales growth and the profit, and the backed by engaged people and focus on quality, with a good delivery, and of course better and the best speed. And a basic business model. This is a very basic business model. It's no, I must say, standard standard encrypted sheet. I must say this is about a basic understanding that what we talk about sales. So sales is about the top line, that what we see, and this all are the expenses. So just I have tried to simplify this model because what we do in any manufacturing, any business, any operation. So these all are the expenses: raw material, manpower, part, freight, CONQ, maintenance, finance, inventory, capital expense, and the balance is about the profit. So the simple formula: sales minus expense that equals profit. This is the basic business model. Don't be all with activity. Now the next is about what is the expectation? What is the expectation of any business, any entrepreneur, or any business leader for that? Is that the sale should be growing, expense should be minimized. So if you see from this profit block should be increased, and so is it for the sales. So this is normal expectation. But what actually is there in the normal business environment? The sales keep on shrinking. The expenses keeps on increasing. If you look at it, and the profits margins keeps on shrinking. Why this is so? Because the expense is increasing, so there is no control over the expenses, and then on a day-to-day basis, the raw material prices, material prices, steel prices, anything for that reason increases. The manpower cost, the salaries, the power bill, they all keeps on increasing, and then we are left with shrinking sale as well as the shrinking profit. So what's the way out? Another point, that what we discussed as a form of generic sense, now it talks about the business balances required. So if you look at it, so this is just an example that in first year, this was the kind of situation where if you look at it, this is the top line and this is the bottom line. 3.8 loss of 3.8% on a top line of 700, so that's close to, I may say, 80 million euros if you talk about, right? And in this case, the sale is increased marginally. If I talk about inflation, that is at par, the flat. The bottom line or the profit or the loss has increased significantly from 3.8 to loss of 7.9. So there has been an addition of 4.1% of loss just because of all these factors that's come. So that's a before situation, before going for lean in our setup in our organization, right? And these are the other softer aspects, I would say, or the other parameters that are not directly contributing, or I must say the intangible parameters. So delivery compliances was close to 86 and 88, where we talk about it has to be 100%. The customer has to be reliable, flexible manufacturing, wherein the situation was 86, 88. Quality defects in a year 24 and 28. So every month there used to be more than 2 defects, right? Inventories, number of tons was quite low. Employee engagement score was quite low because it was just a kind of a managing the system. Attrition of the people leaving the company was very high. So this all is the basic situation where it used to be. Now the point comes in, what is the next step? So this is the basis as a situation, but what is next? What has to be done? So this is up to the point, the background, like VDSCs and what is lean, what is waste, what to do, what not to do. Then this point.
Can I shortly interrupt?
Yes.
Because I'm not sure how it is with the others, but the microphone, I've got a kind of disturbance on my phone. I'm not sure what the others have.
Okay, should I increase the voice?
I'm not sure what the others, if other people, Doreen.
Ja, de audio is not very good, indeed.
Het moet echt beter.
Wat zeg je? Wat is?
Het geluid moet veel beter. Dit is heel erg storend. Dus heel slecht te verstaan.
It's difficult to understand. There is a kind of disturbance in your mic, probably. I do not understand because yesterday it was all okay, but there's a kind of disturbance on your mic.
So what I do, thanks for your input. I just switch over the mode. Give me a minute. Will that be okay?
Yes, fine.
Yeah.
Now we cannot hear you, Saurabh.
Yeah, I have changed the mode. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm not sure that if it is that whether or not it's better, but let's give it a try. Yeah, fine.
Okay, so I
think the airco is making that that noise. That background noise is from the airco, I think.
You hear that, Saurabh? Perhaps it's good to put off the airco.
Is it better now?
It's perfect now.
Okay, right. Yeah.
I hope it will not be too hot in your room now, but
no, this another air conditioner I have just switched on.
Okay.
So, yeah, earlier it was at the high speed, so that the speed was interfering in between.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Now it's fine. Yeah.
Yeah. So can VD start, right? So,
yeah, it's perfect now. It's perfect.
Okay. Thanks for your input, Ross. So yeah, we were there. So now the point is, who will do lean? And means like we talk about people, people will do lean. But the interesting point in the people comes up later on during this presentation. But I have experienced as a challenge as and then converted to the opportunities. But yes, who will do lean? It's not about a one people, one manager, one leader, but this is all about the people. Because what we see that the people create success, and the people and the possibilities with their regular training, grooming, development, these are the strength for any system to take it further, right? Now another important point, that how do we relate? So I will just take all of you back to the basic standards of academics, where we used to talk about factors and sub-factors. So if I see about excellence, excellence is a factor of a structured approach. It's a Lean, Six Sigma, TPM, TPM, and any structured approach for that instance. Factor is all about the people. So we see that everything, either it's any approach, this is connected with the people. People are there who drives that, who makes it happen to get it done. So that's why the people are important for any approach and to take the thing forward. How is a part that all of you must have practiced at different level of your organization, but I will just share my experience that it was a 5-phase approach, wherein this different phases was done, and phase 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So like it's about farming, choosing excellence, leadership alignment, and tools, team design, leadership standard work, communication plans. So different in standard phase, different companies, different organizations go with different roadmaps for that reason. And this is all about that how we practiced it. So this was a 5-phase, 3 years program that we would drive across. So as we can see that the first thing that comes about in phase 1 about the leadership alignment. So leadership alignment, what does it mean? So I would say or rate it as a top management conviction. So the first thing that is up there. And if you look at it in the different phases, it talks about different methodologies being driven by people. So till now, to my understanding, if I need to sum it up, so this sums up to excellence. Of course, excellence is this lean is a tool for excellence in different fields, different arenas, different verticals. End-to-end is the approach. It's not about a single cell, single section, single business vertical. It's about end-to-end chain of the business. People. So the best part and the most important part, what I realized about the engaged people, empowered people, to take the lean forward. And wherein the people it's all about their mindset. So this is one of the toughest point that we really had to work on, and after all, that work was successful and how we could make it good changeover and transition between the mindset of the people. That's a factor of attitude, behavior, so performance and action. And finally, in terms of real to-do action or the basic crux, that's all we talk about, elimination of waste. So this, in my opinion, my thinking, and my experience, this talks about end-to-end excellence to eliminate the waste with right-minded, empowered people. So this is a kind of a definition that I think that to me it has really worked. Now, this is one, but this is what we could see, I must say, at the time of going to the drawing boards, putting other things together, and then we could see that what it looks like and how it goes up, what is all about. But now the challenge was how to set the ground for it. So the ground at that point, critical success factor that comes up. As we have said, the first point in the first phase about the leadership alignment, and so leadership alignment to me is a top management conviction, because if we talk about different strategies, different philosophies, different improvement techniques, but the top management, the top business leaders of any organization needs to be convinced to drive that particular improvement technology, tool, or the method. For that reason, what was all in all about? So it was a basic thing that really worked about, of course, a broad vision of the 3 years. And finally, it's all about how it is going to get the benefits to the business, or I must say, return on investment. What it is getting in for the management to take this particular initiative or the drive forward. And for that reason, it could be anything that what I experienced, because even if we are going for a small investment in the plant, in the manufacturing side, or in the business, it always calls for what is in it for me. That means what is the feasibility, what is that return on investment. So return on investment, one. Pilot to horizontal deployment is second thing. And third is about the success story of our own, as well as the backup confidence that has helped us to convince the management, to align the management, and to take their consent to drive this particular initiatives. The next important challenge was about the subject expert knowledge. So subject expert knowledge, if not available into the organization, that would be hired in, that would be recruited in, that would be brought in. But the point is, even if that is there, so that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 members, 8 members, 10 members, but how to cascade it all across the people, one. Secondly, how to get them imbibed, how the people will be buying in for that particular training, for that particular content, or anything for that matter and the reason. So the first thing, we made it about the core team. We got some experts. We made a core team who will be driving, and the people who were with a good positive mindset were there. So that was the core team. Then training of the people, involvement of the people are there. So at least the first phase to change the mindset, because here in the challenge was to get good, I must say, the experts for that reason, plus to involve the people as a mass for their mindset change, for their behavior change, for their attitude change, for their change for change. So this was the requirement. So that was possible with the training, rigorous training, regular training. So that was a kind of a thing that was there. Another point, culture. So we keep on talking about that. What is culture? How does it matter? So interestingly, either it's a lean or industry 4.0, I would just like to share that this is a kind of a cultural change. This is a mindset change. This is a behavior attitude change. So for that reason, we need to understand that what is that culture, that what we talk about in all the instances. So for me, what's the first thing is it that important? Or it's so mechanical? Means if you have to deploy the lean, if you have to deploy Industry 4.0, we should get some stuff, we should get it up there into the manufacturing sites, plant, or the business, and get it executed. What culture has to do with it? So is there a question that was asked by some of my management team members at the time of once we started this execution. So the point is why culture is important. So for that reason, I would say, what is that important? So Peter Drucker has said that culture is strategy for the breakfast. So I strongly believe into that concept, and I really see that it has worked well for us also. Even if we made a good strategies, until the people are involved, until the stakeholders are involved, unless you have that improvement, continuous improvement culture in the organization, the things or the strategies cannot be successful, that cannot succeed. So that's why this is important to have that kind of a culture among the people. That's what we want. Then what's culture? Culture is about a behavior. That's a subset of thoughts, beliefs, and values. So that what we say that over a period of time, if we keep on practicing my beliefs, my values, and my thoughts, so gradually that becomes my behavior, and that becomes my habit, and that's what people call, that's a culture of that particular family. That's a culture of that particular organization. That's a culture of that particular group, or that community, or that race, or the clan. So that's all about how do we practice on a continuous basis, what comes from our head to our action. So this is what all is about, is a culture. Who drives it? Now the question is, the leader has to drive it, the manager has to drive it, the operator has to drive it, who have to drive it? So of course, there is a contribution that business owner, senior executives, employees, and everybody is involved. But yes, what we want as a management, how do we drive the business, on what grounds, on what culture we want to drive. So first thing that, as I shared, we discussed about top management conviction, that's what we did. And then the culture of continuous improvement, the people changing culture, their mindset, their behavior, their thinking changing culture started being driven from the top and cascaded down the line. What we need, so at the end of the day, we want a lean culture with respect for people, empowerment of the people, and then continuous improvement. So whatever is, there are some buzzwords, there are some takeaway words for that reason, that finally drives it up there. And then about challenge, of course, remains people, because that's all about a kind of a theory, but finally it boils down, it ends for the people. So I will be just spending much time, or maybe a few more time onto the people, because that's important point, and rest of the things we can drive it smoothly. So the changes that what we experience about the complacency, resistance to change, and apprehension, what will happen next, the job is secure or not. So are they doing this improvement methodology? So what the leaders, what the managers, what their supervisors will treat with the people. So that was a kind of a thing. And secondly, the complacency, that they have not to change. What's the need for change? We are doing our business for such a long period, and we are job secure. We are very good. So why to change? And then for that reason, this is a very standard curve, and the motion that comes in. Denial, frustration, depression, experiment, decision, and integration. So how people behavior got changed over a period of time, and then on what phases we went it through. To convert that, I must say, mindset from a complacent mindset, as well as that old style mindset, to a lean mindset, we did many of the things. So I would just be sharing in brief about it. So like, first thing that what we did is about inverted leadership and lead by example. So we changed the kind of style of leadership. Rather than manager being the boss and the leader being the boss, we started thinking that the supervisor, the people at the bottom of the pyramid, the operator, they are the bosses. They have to own it, they have to drive it, and they have to be their owners of that area. So this is one thing that what we did. So it's more of a involvement, more of a hearing rather than commanding, rather than giving them the direction, hearing from them, getting them involved, and getting them as a leader or the sub leaders for their respective area. This is one thing. Another thing, as I said, at the bottom of the pyramid, so this is about changes. So this has further helped us to make the future leaders, to identify future leaders, right? Third is about the reward and recognition. We encouraged and we seriously spread this culture all across organization, that the people have to be rewarded and recognized even for the smallest contribution. But there has to be justified and a logical backup for that, why they have to be recognized. So their reward and recognition is one part that we started rigorously, and that was a spot recognition. On the spot, in the shop floor, we used to go and we used to reward the people with a smaller token gift. Another regular communication movement was started, that every functional manager used to communicate to their respective team weekly, and the plant managers and business managers used to communicate the entire plant on a monthly basis. This exercise was so regular that means that has really, I must say, fruitified a very good results. The recognition onto that platforms, giving them the message that what we decided last time, where are we now, what is our next future plan, what is the status on different improvement projects, recognizing the good works and the suggestions that how the things could be improved better. This is another point that when the people started involving, so it is a kind of a mass getting involved into that movement. Another is about the Kaizen culture that we all know. Kaizen culture we started, and I will show you the metrics, how it started and how it improved well onto that Kaizen. Positive competition, different groups. Different groups were made, similar kind of a lines were made, obviously the production lines that were there. So there was a kind of a positive competition that what we started. So this is about it. Another is about important element that what we did is about starting from our managers to supervisors, and we tried for the operators also, but more up to supervisors, that as a kind of a balanced outcome. So in a team, there has to be proportionate number of people with the right attitude, right mindset, and a mix of people. Like it's a shaper and implementer or coordinator team. So this has to be a combined mix, so that a team with a good mix could perform better. So this exercise was also done with a fixed questionnaire, and then setting up the people, assessing them with their experience, theoretical check sheets. So this exercise was done extensively to get to that point. And then fast track execution. Whatever ideas were being there from the team members, either he is I must say is operator or any of the guy for that reason, I must say, execution was the key. The ideas needed to remain afloat. We made it a point that whoever is the next level leader of that particular team, they have to make sure that the ideas has to be executed onto the fast track, and the loop has to be closed to the respective member who has given the idea. Similarly, employee engagement extended to families. The families started calling their families to the plant for their visit, for these things up there. So these are the things that really helped us to take the things forward. And similarly, extended to families, I must share one more thing, that we started organizing a family day with all the operators up there, where the families of the operators, supervisors, managers, they all used to meet up together. They used to present some cultural program also there. So that was a kind of a bonding, and wherein we also used to recognize the good amount of good work that the people were doing. So the extension was, or the involvement of the people was not limited to the employees, but that was extended to the families of the people up there. And as a result, as an outcome, what we get, the team was ready to take off. We started feeling that positive vibes into our facilities, that the team is now having a good cohesive feelings, and they are improving, and they are getting bonded together, and then my team was ready to take off. Another focus point that what we had is about training and retraining. Dozo training center. Dozo is a Japanese word that what we call, and that's a concept in Japan, I understand. So there it calls about a training center where the people are being trained. So we focused on training, that the people have to be trained and trained in the classroom, on the shop floor. So in the classroom, we made a proper dozo centers, dozo training centers, what we all wanted to teach them. And this was very extensively. All the new joinees, their 1 week of induction, and the proper department-wise, function-wise, culture-wise, whatever we was to train, that was a part of it. And second was about on the shop floor training. So this was on the shop. So this training and retraining was emphasized more and more among the people. Another point that I was sharing with you as a part of convincing to top management was pilot to horizontal deployment. That's important to have a stakeholder management. The stakeholder could be other functional leaders in different BUs, different organizations of the same group, and all the different functions from where we can take the support. So like in metrics function, that's what we talked about. So pilot to horizontal deployment, I experienced that this has given a tremendous amounts of confidence between the among the top management, from where we were supposed to take the funds, of course, and then they go ahead to take the projects forward. Plus, the stakeholders, that I must say that we were talking about the people who are complacent. who were saying that there is no need to change. Why to change? What are the benefits of this? So that was important for those people to also showcase them that yes, this is the advantage of that philosophy, this is the advantage of that working. So that is really well, so that they could see, not theoretically but practically, they could experience that yes, this is the kind of a, so return on investment, of course, that has been for the top management conviction to take the things forward, and on stakeholders management, either they're working onto the line or the running team also, they also need to be convinced. The one positive team of 10 people would spread it forward to the 100 people, 1,000 people. So that was a kind of a mission, that was a kind of a thinking we took it across. So these things helped us to I must say, to mitigate the risk of these factors, especially for the people, top management conviction, cultural changes, subject matter expert that I was talking. So this is the situation. Now I will just quickly go through that what all has been done as an improvement. So people metric during lean. So this was all in all about. So first thing is about Kaizen. If you notice, this is the period of 4 years. So this is the period when we were building it on about the concept and the things. Immediately 3.4 to 24 it got through. And for 24 to 32, this is a Kaizen per FTE per year. So every month, if I look at it, there were 3 or close to, the Kaizens, the people every week we were targeting, but yes, till that year it was 2.8 Kaizens improvement suggestions per employee per year. This was about training I must say, per employee per month. So training hours, if you see, that has increased significantly. Now, attrition of the staff, that is a very important indicator if I look at it, because first 3 years, that was a challenge. We were restructuring the team also. We were pushing the team hard to get it done. And there were different changes were also there. So at the time, the attrition or the things are reflected into attrition also. The attrition increased for that first year, but you could see that significant difference, a significant drop, 19 to 7%. Ever distribution. So this is just because the people started coming into the movement, the outliers from both the sides of the bell curve, they started moving out, and this was the real people who made this journey possible. And similarly, this is reflected into their employee engagement score. So that was increased from 66% to 86%. So now the team was getting formed, the people were adaptive to the technologies, to the method, and this was the kind of a thing. Just one more, one point, Professor James, if I can. Can you hear me, Professor James?
Yes, I can hear you.
Is it okay now with respect to the audio quality and the things that are understandable to the attendees, or you want me to change anything in between?
Well, I think it's understandable, but I think it would be nice. Well, I think it's understandable. It's interesting to now see the link, of course, with Industry 4.0, what you are doing.
Yes.
And my suggestion is that that at 5:30, that probably we could start with a discussion about certain issues about fusion.
Yeah. So I will be now, because my next step is to go to fusion. So the next agenda is this. Yes, okay. So this was ready to take off, and new mindset, new results, subject matter expert, top management conviction, lean culture, waste elimination, that was all there. So different activities that were carried out during this, and means that was all about that how it has been. So if you could see that these are very visible waste and the changes that has been done, and now this all eliminated, single piece. And if you talk about inbound and outbound transport with different things that all of you must have experienced, must have done in regular practice, that is there, that is to be optimized. So my point is, and why I'm taking so much of time on lean, is about setting the base for Industry 4.0. That's the subject of it, and that becomes more convincing that why we want to have this lean and Industry 4.0 in tandem. Similarly, so these are the takeaways that man and material movement optimized, manpower optimized, and different other elements and the business metrics that has been optimized and that has been improved with this motion and transport base. Similarly, if I say about the inventory, there are the few major elements that what we talk about. So in inventory also, once we started working through lean, we found that yes, there has been a significant improvement of 4.2 million, and ITR has improved, bottom line has improved. We got a better cash, non-added, or I must say the non-value added things has been eliminated from the system. So there are lot many changes that has been carried out and a significant changes. Over processing, so wherein you can see that the quality rework has gone from 18% to 3%. Paint touch-up is from 85 to 6%, and yield has given a direct benefit to the bottom line. So that's why better by 3%, right? So another is about the space. So there are certain improvement that has been done over a period with respect to yield. Similarly for overproduction and this, all things up there. Of course, there are advantages in different sense that all of you experience. So finally, the business balance scorecard looks like this way. So if you see that for 2 years, we were like, this was the situation, and then this is the situation. So if you see that, this is the kind of a change that has been happened along with the other parameter also. So now we could see that we could reach to certain stage of, I must say, efficient system. Now, what next? Or the takeaway of this, lean with empowered people, with inverted leadership, with end-to-end value chain and this cost benefit, but more importantly, with the lens of lean in each one of us hand, so that we could see everything, everywhere, every time with the lens of zooming, lens of lean. So this is the takeaway. But what next? Excellence is not a destination, it's a continuous journey that never ends. Clear? No full stop. And so the next step comes about Industry 4.0. So this is our own thinking and own kind of a realization that what we see in Industry 4.0. So Industry 4.0, benefits of 4.0, this is all about, I must say, the standard slides, standard presentation, where what we call about, this is again an excellence journey. This takes forward through more use of information technology, integration, and I must say more of high digitalization technology. This is a kind of a brief summary and an outcome that what we talk, right? So again, on to this point, that Industry 4.0. So this is integrated digital ecosystem, latest computerization and automation, that what we see and what I could realize. Who will do it? Again, people. And there is important point what we see about that people versus the computers, but who will run the computers? Who will make the programs? Who will make this program feasible? So that's all about the people who will do that. On as is process, it has to be done. And base set as an efficient system, runway ready or takeoff. So this is another point that we have to discuss while Fusion. Pilot to horizontal deployment, the approach is same. And why? We all know that as an excellence, and then to take the things forward. So for me, that how I try to simplify that, this is again an excellence journey with an end-to-end approach, of course, but with our digitalization, with our integration, with an automation, with an computerization, with a robotization. So these all are the things that is different to what we understood into the lean. So again, in the critical success factor for industry, top management conviction, people culture, investment versus return, IT and allied infrastructure, base and branches, hardware, software, and mindware, of course. And second is efficient system or as is. So now I give you an example where we have tried, because we were working on lean as well as Industry 4.0 and there was an overlap, and there is an overlap and there will be an overlap because both the processes are continuous. So we did JET. So what we did is we tried to automate some of the operations into JET. And within JET, the data was available, real-time triggers are available, and we could connect through systems, through integrations, and high-end gadgets were made available to the people. Now our customer was demanding that every 2 hours the inventory has to be replenished. This information used to be populated at everybody's counter. Now this information was to be translated back to the execution. But with all these things, the output was bad. We tried to analyze that what has been the reason, because we used to supply to different customers. So one of the customers, we tried this method. So what we found is all about what to do with the data. So the first thing that we could see that data was available, but what to do with this data. That was the one point. Real-time triggers are available, but how to act onto those triggers? What to do with those triggers? The trigger is available that this particular I must say SKUs has to be supplied to the customer till the time on the date. But how to act, how to plan on the back end? What is that FG? What is their supplier? What is their end-to-end chain? How to plan for that? From where it has to be get? So end-to-end system is not prepared for that reason. We found inventories or production plan is not aligned to the requirement, and non-value-added things, activity thinking is there in the system. And another point is mindset thinking and empowerment is not there. That's what we realized into that. Similarly, another example of Hizenka, then when we tried production balances, so dictated by customer demand, demand forecast, customer demand to translate in production. So all these things were available. But again, we found that output is bad and that inefficiency got magnified. That was zoomed out. And with this as a resultant, a customer started shifted from that reason. We were happy that we are moving towards digitalization, integration of different data, integration of different customers to a production line, to manufacturing lines, but that was the situation. So again, onto this analysis, we could find that yes, the first question was what to do with the data. And if the system is not efficient, what to do with the triggers. So the same kind of things that were there into the previous slide or the previous set of that what we observed, we found and we faced here in Hizenka also. Now the prerequisite of fusion. So with this all, we could summarize that one of the important quote, that first rule of any technology used in a business is that automation applied to an efficient operation will magnify the efficiency. And if we automate the inefficient system, that will magnify the inefficiency overall across. So this is the basic thing that is a quote, of course, by Bill Gates. But yes, we could realize, we could practice it, we could find it in our day-to-day operations, in our manufacturing, in our operations up there. And that has really given us a conviction that we have to make efficient system and we have to apply Industry 4.0 only on efficient system that we have practiced, that we have deployed into the lean. So there is one kind of a defensive thing is about garbage in, garbage out. That's what you found when the system was not equipped well. So what to do with that automation? So first we have to provide the right information so that we could get the right information out. So value in, value out. So in summarization, it becomes that efficiency level has to be high, and that is comes through lean. And the lean is about everywhere. Quality, speed, efficiency, reducing the cost. So first is about value in, value out. Efficiency level comes from lean, and lean is about that. So this we could see from, I've just shared a few of the examples, but yes, these are the things that I just summarizing here. So the road for, I must say, the takeoff track is lean, and the takeoff preparation and the takeoff is Industry 4.0. So if my takeoff track is not well done, is not prepared, is not in the right condition, is the right state, we cannot take off well. So my understanding, my experience with all this, that the fusion of lean and Industry 4.0 is the crux. Once we have the lean, we have reached to a certain efficiency level. The people have started adopting that approach, only then we can switch over to Industry 4.0. That will definitely complement. That's not a mandatory requirement. That's always a preferential requirement. So that becomes to Industry 4.0 of that. Now, other than the normal challenges, what additional challenges I faced or my team faced during this Industry 4.0, that was a new thing about IT and allied infrastructure, base and branches, hardware, software, and mindware. So the base thing, or means the first thing that what we did is about, so means it's all about hardware installation, gadgets, and everything up there. Skilled subject matter expert was the challenge, where we had to get the people from outside, IT experts, software making experts, program making experts, troubleshooting experts, service engineers. So the team were recruited, but that was all at a cost. Another point is about the fund availability. So I would say that what experience we have, that at the time we made an agreement with the management that whatever is being saved out of that lean or improvement methodology, 50% of that amount will be funded to the projects or to the kind of a capital investment that is up there, or the infrastructure investment. So that's a good amount of handshake that what we had with the management, that yes, whatever is saved. So that was a kind of a philosophy, and we used to call it a buzzword also. I just need to think. That was, yeah, earn and spend. earn and spend. So you earn through these different improvements and then spend 50% of what all improvement you have done. So that used to give an excitement to increase that, things further on also. So now I come to that what industry 4.2 and lean. So lean 4.2 now I'm talking about how this has given an advantage and what we have actually done in different fields. So one part is asset utilization. Just to give you a few example that we had multiple sites I'm responsible for, and within this we started mapping that what are the common kind of infrastructure that is available, common machines, common processes, and this up there. Earlier, the customer demand used to be replicated to individual sites only. With this kind of an integration through Lean 4.0, we started integrating inter-plant also. So the plants with the same capacity or same, I must say, the infrastructure, they were also mapped. And once the customer demand used to be there, that was to be a kind of, we used to get a balanced load for all the plants. The best advantage we get about the overall equipment efficiency that got improved, OEE got improved, because in that case, we had on the machines about this, I must say, the gadget over there, where it used to tell what is the idle time, what is the working time, and what's the breakdown time, changeover time, or XYZ. And this OEE was quite low. Now with this integration of three plants, we could get that OEE of the plants is improved. For that particular part is improved, we could get the visibility for the future, that for how many months we have to take the business or say no to the business or regret to the business, what additional capacity for that particular infrastructure we have and for which we can borrow in the more and more business for that reason. Now with this, because the assets were consolidated all across sites, we could have a better asset turnover ratio. With the same asset available, we could utilize better, OEE became better, and then we started generating more revenue with the same set of available assets. Another important point, since the same asset was utilized to have a more turnover, we could get the benefits into the capital investment. So capital investment was saved. So there are certain advantages that has been happened, and this used to be kind of a dashboard that what we used to get. This is just an example. This is not the exact dashboard. So overall equipment efficiency that has improved significantly from 68 to 76% for all the plants that was up there for that particular operation, that what we call as stamping. Asset turnover ratio improved from 2.7 to 3.4. Capital gains, we could save 3 million euro. And asset consolidation. Now, with respect to the demand of the customer, this was translated back to all the plants. They used to consolidate, they used to merge, and we used to get a better servicing to the customers also with the same asset. So this is the best advantage, one of the best advantage, I must say, I could see, I could practice, I could realize with Lean and 4.2. As I was sharing, this would not have been possible if I have not executed or if I have not, with my team, done on Lean. So this is a real life experience. Softer aspect, of course, transparency, involvement, morale, growth of functional leaders towards business manager, and this all has improved. The strategy has been now more realistic. That's what all we have to do. So real-time triggers are there. We have a plan, we have a forecast, we have the things that what all needs to be consolidated. So business strategy was more realistic in that sense. Another point, safety through Lean 4.0. So this is one of the most important themes that our business leaders took that point of time, that the people who are working into the organization, they should be coming to the site safe, and they should be going back safe. That becomes our moral responsibility for safety. The major was about RFID control that was rolled out all across plant, and with this RFID outputs, we could get access up there. I must say the outcome as a dashboard, and then the improvement was there. The instances here in other first aid instances, if somebody is getting some small cuts on the fingers or some pinching. So these are kind of, because we are working in a heavy industry, so these are the kind of nature of the first aid instances that takes place. So if you see, this got reduced to 24 at the time of Lean, almost to 50%. But the moment we started transiting from Lean to Industry 4.0, it started to and reached to 1. So that's a significant improvement that what I could see. But this step was the prime step that what I realized while going to the level of 1. Similarly, if you see that this near miss has increased, So someone may think about it that nearness has increased, so it's an adverse effect of impact of automation or Industry 4.0. No, this is not the situation, because this has given the point that now the things are alarmed well. They are triggered well proactively so that any instance doesn't take place. So this more is better to keep this at a minimum level. And of course, the training to the people to exhibit and to radiate the safety behavior-based safety. So this is about that. And yes, this is about like robotic cells. So we are close to 300 robots into the plants, and wherein all robotic cells are concealed by these kind of restricted access, different sensors, so the people can't go, and their tracking are live to the safety managers and to the different level of managers as per their requirement. The dashboard is there. Gas yard, any leakage is being monitored 24/7, that is up there, and the people get connected. So they get all the proactive alarms in advance, and they take the actions accordingly. Similarly, this is for, I must say, OE integration through automation and integrations. Automation was I must say, the outcome was a BB for lean, because we started working on eliminating the waste, improving the productivity, but the integration of all these robots is a brainchild, or is a kind of a outcome of this Industry 4.0, because till the time waste elimination, breakdown, simplified flow, automation was there, wherein the OE got improved from 46 to 62%. But with this integration, we could improve the OE from 66 to 76%. At one point of time, all 24 hours, 7 days, or maybe 365 days, the people are onto it, that what is the loss, how to control it. They are getting the data on the breakdown analysis. They are getting the data on changeover details. They are getting different kind of trends. They are getting different kinds of suggestive analytical outcome from the software, so that they could see that yes, this is the reason how to take that action. So this is really, I must say, helpful, and this really has worked well in spite of having the robots. Integration is must. Real-time information is must. That has helped us. Similarly, quality. So quality is important part. If you look at it, so quality defect at one point of time 34 before the start of lean, that could reduce to 6 by applying the lean, but to make it to 0, this was only got possible through Industry 4.0. The reason is that with the lean, we made the culture that it has to be checked every hour. The people have to be on top of it. The supervisors or the operators are the in charge. They are the leaders. But real-time information, control from the sources, that only could take place from the Industry 4.0. Now with this, we have different POCA UKs into the system, integrated together, so that NG part, not good part, bad quality part, is not reduced at all. And even if there are welding cameras, for instance, if I say, if any welding is wrong, is not as per, that works on correlation and simulation model. So if that correlates that the welding is not okay, so that will give and trigger a signal that yes, this is not okay. So the part will not produce. CONQ, cost of non-quality, is eliminated. Defect is not there to be generated. At the end of the line, the punching of the barcode, the information will only take place when the part is okay in all respects in quality. A restricted access, if anything goes wrong, POCA is not working, interlocking is not working, integration is not working, only the authorized supervisor or the leader can reach to that area, and that he can get it up. The span of control of the people has increased. While sitting at one place, having the gadget up there, they can now see the all lines, because they get all the triggers, they take the actions, and they are getting into the mode that something will not go wrong. They will be able to control that proactively. So these are the benefits that what we got. So as a way forward, I must say that horizontal deployment to successful pilots, continuous improvement on existing rollouts, that what we have done, and extension to other business verticals in power, environment, end-to-end supply chain, and finance of Lean 4.0. I will call it a Lean 4.0 extension to these verticals. And as a caption that I always keep in my mind, and I always try to drive with my team also, that yes, we have to play and win. So let's play and win. Thank you very much. Thanks for your patience, and thanks for hearing it up. And maybe I would love to hear your points, and maybe we can learn. So it's a learning point. Thanks, Professor Sloan. Thanks.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation. It went relatively fast, the last 50 minutes. The floor is open for questions. and just raise your hand or type something in the chat if you have a question. As a start, I've got a question, and that's you say basically, well, first start with lean and then Industry 4.0, and if you do it in the other way around, then it's asking for problems. That's true, isn't it?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah, and I'm just, and when you read papers about it, and when you see also in, also technology may force an organization to be more standardized. So it could also be a kind of Industry 4.6. It's also a kind of help to realize standardization and to organize things in a. And when you have a robot, you need to organize it in a lean way. So it pushes lean also.
Yeah.
So my question is, how did you start in your company? How did you select? You started with a pilot, or how did you start it?
Yeah. So thanks for your point, Professor Jain. So as I was sharing that this is one of the most important tool that what we realized in deploying either lean or Industry 4.0. We selected an area or a machine or a particular component, and then we made it to success as a pilot. And the learnings of that pilot was deployed, improvised first, and then horizontally deployed all across. Few examples that in lean, we selected first one area, made it to all the best parameters, best indicators, best people engaged and everything. And then we took this learnings forward and deployed it all across. In Industry 4.0, this is Cobot at one place, and then getting on to the success of Cobot, deploying it horizontally to the similar phases.
Yeah, and you did not get employee resistance against Industry 4.0.
Yeah, that was there. That was tremendous amount of it, because there was another kind of a paradigm shift. If I talk about from lean to this, because lean, the empowerment of the people were there, and Industry 4.0, I phrased the challenge with respect to whether people were apprehended that this automation, digitalization will make their job kind of an insecure. So that insecurity was quite high on their mind. So that was there, but again, what means that's why I could see that the lean culture and the lean mindset helped us a lot to get it adopted to Industry 4.0. We again drive the same communication mode with a different, I must say, different taglines. And what we did, the people or the operators or the supervisors, they were performing good. We made them in charge of a larger area and increase their one level of designations basis their performance, so that they remain engaged and excited for their role. And regular communication was the key that has helped us to wave off their or to be out of the apprehension from their mind.
Okay.
Is it answering your question, Professor?
Yeah, I think well, also here I think communication is one of the key issues to keep all the people on board. I've got a question here from Bas Verhelst. He asks, could you give a rule of thumb of how much impact lean and subsequently Industry 4.0 have on the bottom line? And so you presented huge advantages of lean, but what is in percentages the advantage of using Industry 4.0?
Okay. For lean, if I average out of the years, I could say that I could get the advantage to the tune of 60%, yeah, approximated 60% improvement from the lean on the bottom line. And for Industry 4.0, this process is continued, but on CAGR basis, if I look at it, this has to be close to 17 to 18% a year. So on a cumulative axis of the same, what lean is, that should give me close to 40%. So 60% on lean and 35 to 40% on Industry 4.0.
Does that answer your question, Bas?
Well, that's quite substantial. That's huge.
Yeah.
So basically, you're almost double your profit if you apply these processes.
Yes, yes.
Whoa.
It also depends on the kind of inefficiencies also, to be very honest with you, because that makes the better chance of improvement. But yes, other than on a lighter part, yes, that gives a significant improvement.
And is it because of higher efficiency on itself, the efficiency of the machines or the balance of the load on the machines to realize that? Or is it more because of the quality improvement? So less rework, less waste?
Yeah, I think this is a kind of inclusive approach that has been worked up, because as I shared, this is a kind of drive that has took place. We never took lean as a kind of a tool that has to be applied to any machine or a process on a certain things. We took it as a drive that yes, all the people everywhere, every time, they have to work for lean for waste elimination. This was the kind of a, I must say, we try to make it on the top of the head of the people wherever they go, if they find anything. So the response to that question is that not only in quality, not only in productivity, not only in safety, all the aspects that were touched upon by that masses and that movement that got improved. So I just share, I think I just go back to BBSC if you look at it. So if you look at it and so if you see that all the areas were touched upon, we could improve on the yields also raw material while working in the process. Rework was also reduced, right? And the manpower, because the better productivity was there, so manpower was improved. Another important point that we could also consolidate the working. Earlier, our different setups or different manufacturing shops used to work at different timings, some for 16 hours, some for 12 hours, some for 24 hours. Later on, we realized, we mapped the process and we found that the complete plant, all the shops has to be run in 16 shifts. That's a target we took. And with the combined effort of the team, we could make it to 12 hours. Earlier, the plant was running 24 hours. So 24 hours to 12 hours working, you could see that close to just on the thumb, 40%, 50% improvement has already been achieved. That was just going waste. And efficiencies were there. So things have improved drastically, I must say. Delivery compliances has improved. Quality defects has been made zero because the people got sensitive. Rework has been made zero. And employee engagement is improved, yeah.
We have a few other questions. A question from Dimfi Budjan. If you have lean already implemented in your own organization and you start adding 4.0, what changes in the way of working in the company? It adds more real-time data for better decision making. But what else? What changes in the way of working in the company?
I must say it is transited to new digital era. In a brief words, I must say, because on lean, all the processes were getting onto the set mode and standardization. More of a manual dependency were there into the lean. Of course, ERP integration, that all facilities were there. But I could see that Industry 4.2 has given an edge for digital transformation, getting the information on real time. The people are now, the cultural wise, if I think that the changes are, the people are connected 24/7. the things, the dashboard, the things are available on their dashboard. Their KPIs are available all the time, 24/7. They can see that how they're performing, and they could improve accordingly as a part of a, they need not to wait for a month or 3 months or 6 months to see that how their indicators are there. They are the bosses up there on the shop floor, so they can see that how they are performing and how they have to improve. So real-time triggers, real-time actions proactively, and then transparency of the data is increased multifold. Earlier, some of the information used to be confined to, I must say, shop floor operators, supervisors. Different classes were there where information was just limited. But with this, we could see that this is transparent now all across chain. Because basic data input is same from the machine, from the manufacturing, from the things up there. So transparency, I must say, involvement, digital edge of the people, connectivity, more proactive approach. So this is the few outcomes that I could see as a change from Lean to Industry 4.0. Is it answering your question to some extent?
Yes, it is. Thank you.
Yeah. Also changed it, also the training. You have a lot of training programs in your company about Lean.
Yes.
Did Industry 4.0 also change all your training programs?
Yes. The mode was changed to more of a, again, on a using the technology. Because whenever we introduce any new technology, there is always apprehension in the mind of the people that, yes, will the work, will it not work? Will I be able to handle the technology or not? So training of the people and getting them out from their mind, the fear psychosis they must be having that, yes, I'm not fit to operate that particular technology. So one is this. Secondly, getting them acquainted. Two, that was there. Third is about, with this point, to get them more acquainted, all the training content was changed from, I must say, the classroom training or, say, writing board trainings to digital training. So they start getting the feel that, yes, this is the kind of a way forward. This is the next step we are planning. So we tried through digital mode, covering more the people.
Yeah. And what about, because we saw a picture from you that there were a lot of Kaizens. Every employee made a lot of Kaizen improvement ideas.
Yeah.
What is the effect of Industry 4.0 on improvement ideas? Because, when you implement a robot is a robot. So what kind of, is the number of improvement ideas, of Kaizen ideas, is that increasing or decreasing?
Yeah, I say that the ideas now are graduated. Ideas are also now graduated from the last level to this level. Because earlier the inefficiencies was quite high. So we were just setting the base right. So there were many improvement ideas that were there that could give a smaller benefit, but idea is idea. We always respected the ideas by the people. In Industry 4.0, we found that now people have started identifying the improvement ideas while working of robots also, while working of cobots also. They say that yes, the cycle time being covered by a particular robot needs to be or can be optimized if we do this kind of activities, or if we synchronize two robots together, they can overlap the time and then the things can be improved better. Or if we give that input from the robot, from the line, from where it's manufacturing, to the output, that will make our system more robust with respect to quality, with respect to safety. So I see culture is there. People are encouraged. The quality of Kaizens is improved to the next level. That's really improved to the next level.
But that also needs a lot of more education of workers, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
But on the other hand, the quality of work, so the repetitiveness of the work, remains the same, or is that also changing in Industry 4.0, that the work on itself becomes more interesting?
Oh, so if I'm understanding you correctly, you mean lean to industry 4.0, the nature of work remains same, repetitive, or is it changing? Is it the question, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay, okay.
Do you need higher level educated people?
In fact, I would say it like this, that the people who have started the journey with us in lean, so now with the point, they are also groomed up, they are also graduated, and since they are part of a movement of a journey, so they are well equipped with this. Because I was sharing in the people column that we tried to work on the mindset of the people. We tried that the people should be adaptive, flexible, positive attitude and mindset. They should be put onto the boards, onto the real positions. So once these kind of people were there, they were adaptable to new technologies also, one, and with their background but good attitude and approach, they were able to learn. Somebody took less time, somebody took more time, but the people were able to learn. And the basic advantage that what we show them, and what they have also realized, that now their role is increased. Now they are not to be onto the floor by putting the things on a particular repetitive job, monotonous job. Now their role is graduated also to kind of a supervisory role, to ensure that the things doesn't go wrong with the help of technology. Their span of control is also increased with this. So they are sitting anywhere every time, so they can see that, they can do that. Initial training was provided, that was tough. But yes, people who have joined to the journey, they are doing good with respect to their mindset and approach.
We have only a few minutes left. I think we have 3 questions, and to start with the last question, that was from Bas Verhelst. He asked you, he says, well, it's very valuable. Can I have the presentation material? Is it possible to send us the presentation material? That's one question. So just think about it. Okay. Another issue is you in the chat, everybody can see in the chat there's also an evaluation form. So please, if you have feedback or suggestions or questions, also follow-up questions, just put it in the evaluation form. And then we have a few minutes left for some basic questions, and that's about from Anna Lagao. We have the question about people, and people is fundamental in the lean journey, as well as, of course, in the Industry 4.0 journey. But have you any tips or tricks how to secure and foster lean culture on the shop floor? How to sustain people engagement throughout? So it's difficult to engage people.
Yeah.
Engage people not only 40 minutes, but to do it day in, day out. So do you have any tips or tricks how to do that?
Yes, we did a lot of activities to keep the people engaged, and we made a calendar for employee engagement activities that worked for all 365 days. The basic thing that what we tried, that on every day we should have something for the people, so that they find it exciting to come to the work, as well as they get something that excites them, that makes them interesting. For instance, that what we did is that during their tea time, during their break time, we asked them that yes, we will be chatting with you informally, getting them the ideas that would giving on an extempore basis, on the spot basis, small gifts, recognizing the people, giving valuable their ideas, their birthday celebration, their anniversary celebration, and just having a small cake in the tea area, and their manager, their supervisor used to come along with all the things celebration. A small gift with a company logo, so that they take back home and they feel proud of it. Calling the families of these operators at home place and showing them where they used to work and where they are working, so that their engagement, right? When the family comes, a family picture is of course with their managers, and making it a point to give them straight away while they are leaving back. Having a lunch or snacks of the plant manager or the HR managers or their functional managers with their families. So making them feel special, training them, sending them outside, and having some behavioral program. During the office timing, or maybe not during, sorry, after the office timing, some kind of a physical activity with respect to their sports and games, like small games, small competition. So I think few of that engagement activities probably work, retain the people.
I think it's very interesting to hear. I think also the idea of an engagement agenda. I think it's a good idea, and with all the tips included, all the tips you're giving. The last question, we have only a couple of minutes, and that's from Joshua Brun. Did you see a correlation between the amount of Kaizen projects initiated and the success rate? So probably if people have more Kaizen suggestions, probably the success rate of the projects decrease. And I would also be interested, what's the impact of Kaizen ideas and Industry 4.0?
Okay.
Do you have figures about that?
Yeah.
So if people have more Kaizen suggestions, twice as much, is the profit also twice as much, or even more?
So first thing is about, I understand, correlation between Kaizens and the execution or the improvements. Is it the question first?
Yeah, success rate. Yeah.
So I would say that initially the success rate or the correlation was bad. That was a negative correlation, I must say, because the number of ideas were more and this execution and success rate was quite low. Because once we were pushing that culture of Kaizen among the people, so people were forced to give that idea, to be honest, that they have to give them ideas, right? So the success of that idea was not that much and the correlation was bad. Gradually, once the people started owning it, that this correlation got improved gradually. And then we used to get 100 number of Kaizens and close to 80-85% of Kaizens were executed well. And the success rate was 85% to that extent. At one point of time, it got reached. Initially, it started with 20%, 30%. At the time, we were pushing for that culture, for that Kaizen things of that. So this is one part. Second point, I think, is about Kaizen impact onto Industry 4.0.
Yeah.
Yeah. So as I shared, success rate. With this now, the number of Kaizens are getting reduced, but their impact is high. And success rate is now close to 70%. Why I will say so? Because now people are graduating towards digitalization. They are having an idea, but once we see from the feasibility perspective of IT integration or maybe the programming integration, sometimes we find that this is not workable. So at this time, because we are in a transition of Industry 4.0 or Lean 4.0, after 2 years, I think, I see that this success rate would be much higher. But yes, one thing for sure now, the quality of ideas is much better, and they are giving better result than what we used to give in Lean with respect to the values to the business.
Well, thank you very much. It's now 5 o'clock and we have to finish. So, Saurabh, thank you very much. And I think you gave a presentation and you showed the importance of Lean as a prerequisite for Industry 4.0. And also a little bit, you give a glance of what happens in the factory after introducing Industry 4.0. I would like to thank you, and I would also like to ask the people, when you fill in the evaluation form, when you have ideas or suggestions or comments or additional questions, please put that also on the evaluation form. We appreciate it very much. So Saurabh, thank you very much, and I appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Sloan. Thank you. Thanks for giving the opportunity, and to all the participants who joined in and with a full patience. So any ideas, any suggestions, that's a most welcome. So thank you very much, Professor Jens. Thank you.
Okay, then I would like to wish everybody a good evening and thank you for participating. Next week there's another masterclass, so hope you have seen that masterclass also and you will join that masterclass. Thank you for being here and have a good evening.
Hello.
You still there?
Yeah. I just participants and attendees have left, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I just was looking for a minute after the call, so just to say thank you, one-to-one basis, right? So thank you very much, Professor Jens.
Yeah, well, thank you very much. You know, I'm sorry for the beginning that I thought, well, my microphone or my speaker was not good, so I was checking my speaker, but it was the air conditioning, your air conditioning. So, but it was a little bit pity because it was quite difficult to hear, and I thought, well, I'm probably the only person because nobody said something in the chat, but finally.
This is good that you shared in between because for other attendees also, otherwise this would have been a big loss on us.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So.
And I think it's good to have some time for discussion.
That's right.
So and also, you know, it's interesting. And so measurements, for instance, the measurements of the number of Kaizens and the effect on the Kaizens and the type of Kaizen suggestions. So there is a lot of interesting material in it, eh?
Yeah. That's absolutely right.
Yeah, and to collect that information and to see what is the quality of the Kaizen proposals and who is giving the Kaizen proposals.
Correct.
Because I expect also that probably the higher educated people will probably give more and more proposals, while the less qualified people probably less and less. But I'm not sure.
This will Now we are encouraging since lean period that the people onto the shop floor, who was directly in close touch with the process in the machine, they should give more ideas, and they are giving more ideas and simple ideas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think this is. So as what we discussed, so I understand because was it meeting the expectations that what we discussed, or just to get my feedback onto that?
Yeah, I think it was. I think it was fine. On the average, it was fine. It is also good to show that you clearly show the importance of lean, and several elements of lean are still important. And basically the material, the last 15 minutes about Lean 4.0 were a little bit fast.
Okay. Yeah.
It was a little bit fast and difficult to understand.
Okay. Right.
So yeah. So that's my only thing. It was a little bit, but it showed the profitability of Lean 4.0 techniques, and that's good, of course. So I think the message was clear, and people understood it.
Okay.
So that's fine.
Yeah, because finally that should meet the expectations. So I was just waiting to talk to you on one-to-one basis. That yes, is it in line, or I need to work on it? Yeah. Okay.
No, it is in line. It was in line. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So
thank you.
Okay. Then have a good evening, Saurabh, and we'll keep contact.
Yes. Yeah, we will be in touch, and then
Yeah. So especially when I'm going to India next year or the year after, I will contact you, and I hope to visit your company again.
Yes, that would be an opportunity for me too. Yes.
Yeah.
So we will be in touch. Thank you very much. Stay safe.
Keep in touch. Okay.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.